to say thank you all for coming. And we're going to hear today from a few people. We've got Adam Piggot, who has been very influential in bringing these stories of the Wellgate out. We have Jamie Lees, all the way from Canada. And when Jamie got in touch with us at the library about her particular family story, you just know sometimes that this is a story that has to be told. And it's been a really interesting journey putting together this exhibition and all the various strands of it. And we're also going to hear from June Buchanan, who's going to finish the official part of the opening with a poem whose significance will be made clear to you. And after we've spoken, you are invited to have a proper look at the exhibition, follow the story around the panels, have a look at the cases, and speak to all of us and ask any questions which arise. So I will now invite Adam to come and tell us a wee bit about how he started this journey off with his own family history.
Thanks, Erin. So I won't be talking too much today either, because this is for Jamie, and it's all about Mary's story. But just to give you a wee bit of context, it was 2-3 years ago now, I guess it would be. I'd been doing some family research, and I was particularly interested in the butcher shop that my family had run for 76 years, which was at number 50 Wellgate. And I realised I didn't have any sort of pictures of the shop. I didn't really have any idea what it looked like. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to see if we could actually try and recreate the whole street, out of pictures. That was the original idea, was to create a big collage. We never pulled that one off yet.
Well, yet.
Not yet. we might manage. So the idea was maybe we could recreate collages that give the whole street at different points in history. I thought that way I'll maybe get to see what this shop actually looked like. So I contacted Erin and we talked, and about a year or so sort of planning stuff, and decided, right, we'll do something ourselves, put together the website. And the idea was to collect not just photos but stories. It's much more about the people that we were interested in as much as the buildings and what it looked like. And one of the first sort of responses we got once the website went live was from Jamie, with a remarkable story. And I remember you sort of, the first time I met you online on Zoom, and you were talking to Erin and I, you were so emotional and passionate about it. It was amazing. It was quite an amazing experience. So it's been great that, having sort of started this off, that Jamie's picked it up and ran with it, and created what you see today. So I think maybe time to hand over to yourself, Jamie, and thank you for everything you've done. I think it looks tremendous.
Thank you for coming, everyone. This is really amazing to see everyone here. Sorry. So yes, it's been a long time coming, this project. I've been working with Erin and Adam for over a year and a half. Putting the show together and really talking about logistics and how to honor this story. And Erin and Adam and everyone involved has been so respectful about the story. It's a happy day, it really is. But it is an emotional day. Mary, my great-grandmother, kept this secret with her for 60 years. Really, she took it to her death, and she didn't tell anyone. And us in Canada had no idea that this other life in Scotland existed until I found out that she was married before in Scotland. And then I found out she had 2 sons, and I just couldn't believe it. And so I began the process of researching more. And the first thing I did, which opened everything up, was I wrote to the witness who was on the death certificate, who was called Eric Clark. And he was the cousin of the boys, the two boys that Mary left behind. And he wrote back to me, remarkably. He was 83 years old at the time. And he wrote back and he told me the story that their family, the Clarks, knew in Scotland. Mary's husband was William Clark. Eric Clark that I wrote to, this was his uncle. And so their story here in Scotland was that Mary left the two boys at the bottom of the hill town in a pram near a pub and departed and was really never heard of again. Really, but she was, because she was stopped at Port Glasgow by the police, and the police notified William, do you want her back? And he said, no. Anyone that can do this with children, I don't want her back. So this is the story that I heard from Scotland. It was completely shocking. I corresponded with the rest of the Clark family, which are here today. Nigel Clark is Eric Clark's son, and Vicky is here, Eric Clark's daughter. And we all came together to try to find what this story was about, what actually happened. I mean, this is their story, but maybe there's something in there that maybe isn't true. So we were all on that same plane, and we accepted that and have worked to do that. And just briefly, I want to say that while I was here, and I don't think you were there that day, Nigel, but Vicky and Eric and I came to the Wellgate Steps, which are now the Wellgate Steps, and they were excited to show me the place where she supposedly left the children. And as I tried to go up the stairs, and I was happy, I wanted to see this place, and as I reached the third stair, I couldn't move. I could not move, and I started crying, the ugly cry, you know, the snot, the tears, and I was frozen, and I felt this deep sorrow and this deep guilt. I felt extremely guilty. It was the craziest thing. And so Vicky, and all her wisdom, said, let's get away from here. And so we went off, and she said, well, you know, we'll come back. And I never went back. And so when I returned home, I put everything away. I wanted to tell a story, but I just couldn't. I put everything away, and we lost contact for 20 years. So when I spoke with Adam and Erin about doing this exhibition, they offered me an exhibition because they knew how much material I had. The first thing Erin said is, I'm sorry, I'm so emotional. So with her support, I wrote a letter to Nigel, and once again, they accepted me with open arms, and here we are. So I welcome you to go through the exhibition. It kind of starts here, Mary's beginnings in Arbroath, and her family from Knockpippy and Eyemouth, and it goes around this way to the end here. You know, if you have any questions, we're here. And we also brought photos and letters. There's also a binder full of Mary's letters here. And so please feel free to ask any questions. I think I've touched on everything, I think. Is there anything I'm missing? Oh, June. Yes, right. Very
just
important.
Maybe tell us why she's going to be here.
Yes.
She's going to do.
Oh my gosh.
You do that.
Yes, a little overwhelming, but you know, she did leave the two boys. She had a life in Canada. She had 3 boys in Canada, one of them being my grandfather Adolf. But she has all these moments of being a very good mother. And one of them was, you can read about it here on the Fit of the Tune board, where she used to read this piece that June is going to present to this woman, young, well, she was a girl at the time, and she was deaf and couldn't speak. And so she would read this piece to this girl. And I really relate to this piece because there's a little character named Jamie, and there's a little character named Robbie, and my brother is named Robbie Burns. We don't have a Tam, that's the third person in there, but so it really speaks to me, and it reminds me of how Mary must have read this. It also brings to mind, could she have recited this piece to the boys as she was rolling the pram along to their final destination? You know, I wonder that. So without further ado, June Buchanan.
Yes. To be honest, do you want to give it a wee minute, and hopefully
Yes.
we won't have the beeping
Yes.
forever. I think that's somebody trying to get in.
I hope they're coming to see the exhibition. But I invite you to please sign our guest book. We are working on a graphic novel or a picture book about the exhibition, as well as there's a one-act play that we're working on. So if you'd like to keep up on that, I urge you to sign up, and we'll keep you posted. Yeah, because we want to bring the play to Scotland for the Fringe. So